If you've been a part of any manufacturing or quality control job, you may be familiar with the concept of control limits. Control limits are boundaries that are used to monitor processes. They first define a range within which the process is expected to operate under normal conditions. Second, they serve as an alarm that lets you know that a process may be going out of control. In order to use control limits, you first need to identify the target range, meaning what is the maximum, minimum, and ideal range you want to be. The net maximum number in the range is called the upper control limit, or UCL, and the minimum number is known as the lower control limit, or LCL. Let's use body temperature as an example. Over time, the average body temperature for adult humans has been debated and changed, but the generally accepted range is between 97 and 99 degrees Fahrenheit. This puts the target at around 98 degrees Fahrenheit. So in this example, 99 would be our UCL and 97 would be our LCL. Having a body temperature outside the control limits is a health concern that may require attention. This is what a control chart looks like. You'll notice that the dots, which indicate data measurements on either side of the average line. Ideally, you would want the measurements as close to the center line as possible. You also want measurements above and below the center line. This indicates that the process is functioning normally. Think about it this way. When you go outside on a hot day, your body temperature will rise naturally. However, when you go into an air-conditioned room or jump into the pool, your body temperature will fall. If you're in a healthy state, your body temperature will rise and fall, but still be within the control limits on either side of your average line. What you don't want to happen is your body temperature to stay completely on one side of the average line consistently. If your body temperature stays above your average, but still within the control limit, even after you come in from outside and into the AC, you may be showing signs of heat exhaustion or worse. On the flip side, if you jump into the pool and you climb out to get warm, but your body temperature stays below the average, but still within the acceptable range, you may be showing signs of entering hypothermia. In lean manufacturing and project management, you want to watch out for variations that are out of the ordinary. One of the biggest indicators that you're going to have an issue or that an issue is starting to happen in the process is that you see 7 consecutive measurements on the same side of the center line. This means you are trending to be above or below the control limit if the process is not corrected. Ideally, you should spot issues well before they go out of control. You also want to see what is considered normal for a particular process compared to others. For example, if we go back to our body temperature example, you might notice that your body temperature is starting to get warmer every day. If so, it could be a sign you're getting sick and soon you'll have a fever. So, what does this have to do with leadership development? Well, we can use this same principle and apply it to emotional awareness and control. It's dangerous to be around a person who can't control their emotions, and it's even more detrimental to be a person who can't regulate their own emotions. For this portion, let's use an alligator as reference. If we watch how alligators swim, they typically stay right at the top of the water line. One of the reasons for this is because when they are submerged slightly, the alligator's eyes are positioned so that they remain just above the water's surface, which gives them a panoramic view of their surroundings while remaining hidden. Alligators are considered ambush predators, which means they will wait patiently until prey is near and then they unleash. They also use this tactic when they are attacked. Using their powerful tail muscles, alligators can jump 6 feet vertically straight out of the water to go after their target. On the flip side, alligators are known to dive below the water if they are frightened by something. Finally, as the ultimate survivors, alligators will sometimes enter a state of brumation, which allows them to slow their metabolism to preserve energy. In this state, they will often submerge their body under the water with just their nostrils poking up through a hole in the ice to allow them to breathe. Using this information, let's apply it to ourselves. Picture yourself going through your daily life without any issues. Nothing great is happening and nothing horrible is happening. You're just going about your business, getting from point A to point B. Not happy, not sad, not angry. You are the gator at the top of the water. You're in a neutral state. Let's say, as you're going about your business, someone makes you angry and you explode on them. That would be you jumping 6 feet straight out of the water as you lash out at them. That is your fight response. Later that day, you're walking out to your car and you catch some weirdo watching you. It makes you feel uncomfortable, so you decide to get out of there as soon as possible. That's you diving below the water to escape danger, or in other words, it's your flight response. Now let's say it's the next day at work and your boss calls you into a meeting with HR to discuss the incident you had with your other employee. They both pepper you with questions and accuse you of things, so you shut down. You literally freeze up. This is your freeze response, or like the alligator, you're in survival mode just trying to get through it. In all three of these situations, you reacted the way you did possibly because you reacted rather than controlled your emotions. If we use the same principle of control limits we talked about earlier, we can better manage how we respond to things. Let's go back to the day you erupted on your coworker. What if you had a better understanding of what triggers you, or if you understood why that person irritates you so much? This would be you noticing that you were starting to trend toward your emotional upper control limit. Knowing that, you could have recalibrated yourself emotionally. By reflecting, maybe you noticed that the past few times you dealt with that person, you started feeling more and more annoyed each time you were around them. Understanding that you were soon going to be out of control emotionally would have signaled to you to be careful with your reactions. The important thing to remember is you control the process. When you are working on a machine to recalibrate it, you are in charge, not the machine. You learn what makes the machine go off track or what it needs to stay on track. Also, only you know what gets you off course, whether it is lashing out at others, running away from a problem, or freezing up. So do yourself a favor and figure out what your upper and lower control limits are and what causes you to freeze up. Knowing when you're feeling off will help you gain confidence because you'll be in control. You don't have to prepare yourself for every situation. You just have to understand yourself to know how you handle yourself in different situations. How you respond to what you can and can't control is up to you, so arm yourself with this knowledge and know your limits. Like a gator, the more you can stay at the top of the water and be in a neutral state, the better you can identify threats or potential issues. If you want to be the apex predator rather than a victim to your or someone else's emotions, you have to learn how to remain relaxed but vigilant. Sometimes it's okay to go into survival mode to wait things out. Sometimes it's okay to unleash when you have to, and sometimes it's better to get out of danger than to stand and fight. But each decision requires discipline and self-awareness, so take the time to reflect, lay out in the sun, and remember that every decision you make should be done with the confidence that you came prepared.